What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Aid a Book. My name is Malik. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. And today we are going to be talking about my thoughts, or just, I don't know what today is. Today is just like a rant video on my thoughts about the Fellowship of the Ring, the start to the Lord of the Rings. So I just finished Fellowship of the Ring, and I wasn't as, head over heels for it as I thought I was going to be. I definitely still like the book, but I'm still, I don't know, I expected a lot more for me to be more enamored with this story. And let me just leave this as a disclaimer, or I don't know, a note here. Just saying, like, this video is probably too early, and I should probably read through the whole series before sharing my thoughts on it. But I feel like I have some inklings as to why I'm not liking it as much as I thought I would. I definitely still like it, don't get me wrong. But my expectations were up here, through the roof. And I'm like, in this chair. So I like pretty much everything in the book. The characters were good. The world building was great. The writing was great. The plot was interesting. I think the biggest thing for me right now was that the emotional impact that the book had on me wasn't really there for me. It wasn't there as much for me. I kind of just felt like I was, I don't know. I feel like I didn't feel like it hit me as hard as it should have. I can list probably like the parts that really moved me was the scene with Farmer Maggot, between him and Frodo, and Gandalf when he fought the Balrog. And that's probably really it. That the two scenes that really moved or pulled at my emotions. And I think that this might be for a few reasons. If you didn't know, I have already watched the movies, so I already know what is going to happen in this book, in this story. But I think from watching the movies, I'm trying to compare the two mediums of the story. This is another reason why I just like to read the book before I watch the movie that is based on. I don't know why I watched Lord of the Rings. I just thought I would never get to it, and so I decided to put it on one day. And here we are. But I generally, if there's a book out, or there's a adaptation coming out for a book, and if it's a book that I feel like I'm gonna like, I always are on the side of reading it first before watching the movie, specifically because the movies always mess up my, the own movie that I create for myself when reading a book. So, like, for example, reading this book reading Fellowship, the people that were in the scenes when I was reading the books is everybody from the movie. I was looking at, what's his name? Ian McKellar, the guy that plays Gandalf. I don't know any of their names. The guy that plays Frodo, Isaiah, I don't know his name. And that's not the biggest thing, but I think the biggest thing for me was just comparing things that I had known that were coming in from watching the movie. I was comparing those things when they happen in the books. For example, when Frodo gets stabbed, or when they find the door to Moria, I was thinking about how it was done in the book and how it was done in the movie, comparing the two, and trying to figure out if they did anything really different from each other. And I feel like that kind of made me not be as in the world of Middle Earth and really be with the characters of this story. I think another thing that really, really took me out is just knowing what happens in the story, and also anticipating those things that are going to happen in the story. I think the beginning of the book really captured me because the beginning of the book was completely different from what I thought happens from watching the movies. First of all, I should probably say this, but spoilers for this story if you haven't read it yet. But the beginning of the book, the beginning of Fellowship, when Bilbo leaves and everything, there's like Frodo doesn't go on the journey for a long ass time. And that even when he actually leaves the Shire for his journey, he doesn't reach the pouncing pony or the inn. He doesn't reach the inn for a really long time. They go through so many like interactions with other people on the road. So there's a lot of stuff that happened there that really captured me. But I think when they got to the Prancing Pony and things started falling into place, I was like, oh, this is gonna happen, and they're gonna go here, and whatever. Yeah, and I think just having that, just knowing what's going to happen, was always running in the back of my mind that I couldn't really be wrapped up into the story. And then also just knowing what is going to happen, I'm also anticipating things to happen in the story. Like I'm anticipating Frodo to put on the ring. I'm anticipating whatchamacallit, Aragorn to be at the Prancing Pony, and I'm already gonna assume that he's gonna help the hobbits on their journey. Like all these things, I'm just thinking about when they're gonna happen, and if we're close to it, I'm just thinking about it, and I just really can't be wrapped up in the stories. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna read the next 2 books, just because I feel like this video is not a good time to make this video, and I will have a different thing to say. But if I do have something different to say, that'll be pretty nice to see when I finish the stories. So make sure that you subscribe so that you can see when I put out the full series review. I'm not going to do another video until I actually read the next 2 books. And then I'll talk about everything in one video, do an actual book review for it. So, if you are interested in seeing that, make sure to subscribe, and that way you can see when that video comes out. Also, I am putting out vlogs for this video, for these books. So if you want to see my thoughts as I'm reading through the books, go ahead and subscribe or follow me on TikTok, or you can, check my page for my shorts that I put. I put them both on the same page, but I put more short content stuff on TikTok. So follow me there. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.